Hey guys, it's Oscar with another video. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about the best and worst things about collecting football cards. I got into collecting football cards and sports cards in general back in 1990, and I want to show you a quick snapshot of what cards look like as far as values kind of back then. Here's an example of 1989 score. Now you can see the Barry Sanders there is at the top, considered one of the greatest running backs of all time. And then Troy Aikman and Deion Sanders, they're not too far behind. Now, I do want to point out that the Barry Sanders PSA 10 for around 300, that's pretty low. That's a kind of a one-off. It does go for a little higher than that. But the Deion Sanders, the Troy Aikman in that range is pretty accurate. So you can see just bunched in a group here, that's a cornerback, that's a quarterback, and a running back. And their values aren't necessarily that far apart when you're looking at their 89 score PSA 10 rookie cards. Now, moving into the 90s, card values when it came to football were very consistent in the sense that quarterbacks have always been king. That's never changed. But running backs were a lot more popular as far as value and as far as the perception in the hobby. There's a lot of negative talk lately about running backs not being as valuable. They only have a 3 or 4 year shelf life. Even the best ones right now still have platoons and they're sharing time and so on. So the value and perception of the running back has changed. So what has happened in the 90s and then moving forward in the 2010s, for example, is the difference in the separation between quarterback and everything else is really, really dramatic. Guys in the 90s like Emmitt Smith or Jerome Bettis, more recent like Sean Alexander or LaDainian Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk, these guys used to dominate the hobby and you really wanted their autographs or to pull their cards, for example. Nowadays, when you're breaking down the values of football cards, the quarterbacks basically make up so much of the value when you're opening a box or breaking down a product that it's completely hit or miss. That's basically what the quote-unquote worst part is that if you're breaking down boxes, if you're breaking down packs, ultimately, if you don't get one of the top 2 or 3 rookie quarterbacks or maybe a Hall of Fame, autograph or something along that line, there's just not that much value. But what I want to show you is a comparison of Dak Prescott and Joey Bosa. Both were drafted in 2016. Both were both were Rookie of the Year. Dak Prescott, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Joey Bosa, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And what's really fascinating is their card values. Now, let's take a look. Look at here, and you can see what Dak Prescott Optic Hollows go for. There's a big variance in the price, but if you're looking at the averages, let's say that it's around $20, maybe $15 on the low end, $20 on average, that you can find a Dak Prescott 2016 Donruss Optic card. Now look at the value for Joey Bosa. $1, $2, same card, same year, same variation, and the difference is very dramatic. Prescott is selling for 15 to 20 times what Joey Bosa is selling for. Now, to me, here's what's the most fascinating thing about this whole discussion if you're looking at values and talking about prices when it comes to these cards. Dak Prescott did not make the list of top 100 players from NFL.com's top 100 player list. So there are 15 quarterbacks on that list of 100. So NFL.com, which I believe the entire vote is made up by NFL players and reporters. So in other words, this is a very, it's a valuable vote in the sense that the guys that matter are the ones voting, like the players. So NFL.com, top 100 players, Dak Prescott was not on that list, and there were 15 quarterbacks. So let's just say he's barely an average quarterback in the NFL. He's, middle of the pack when it comes to being statistically, for example. Joey Bosa is on track to have a Hall of Fame career. Joey Bosa looks like one of the best top 5 or 6 pass rushers in the NFL right now, and he's in his, 4th year. Clearly, he's tracking to get better. He has 40 sacks through 4 seasons. If he continues at this pace, Joey Bosa is going to the Hall of Fame. His Donruss Optic Hollows are $1 or $2, depending on what you look at. So that's what's great about collecting NFL trading cards. If you're a real fan, if you love the New York Giants like I do, or whatever your team might be, the Niners, whomever, you can buy and collect some of the most important players, some of the biggest stars on your team for almost nothing. I'm a big Dexter Lawrence fan. I'm sure most of you went who. New York Giants drafted him number 17 last year, first round, 17th pick. A lot of people, oh my God, why'd they take him? This is a terrible pick. He turned out to be one of the better defensive linemen in the league and one of the best defensive rookies in the entire league. I'm a big fan. I can go get his autographs for $3, $5, $8. I can go get his rookie cards for pennies on the dollar, almost nothing. He's a big part of our team, and I'm a big fan. So being a fan and being a collector, that's what I love about collecting football cards is I can get some of the best players on my team. Darius Slayton, he was a 6th round pick. I wouldn't say he was a contender for Rookie of the Year, but he had a very good season, and for being a 6th round pick, he was an absolute steal. And again, you can get his autographs or his rookie cards for almost nothing, dollars. Autographs for under $10. So worst thing about collecting football cards, especially if you are a collector, is basically quarterbacks are all of the money. And if you're breaking down a product or opening packs or you're a part of a group break, for example, it's basically quarterback or bust. The best part is you can get almost any other player on the team at a great quote-unquote value or at a much, much, much cheaper price, especially comparable to what it used to be, say, 10 or 15, 20 years ago. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts about what this variation, the discrepancy in prices. Would you buy Bosa? Do you think Dak's a better investment? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again for joining.